Hello, my dearest confidant. I want to give you guys a quick update from yesterday's exercise and how it went for me. I have a voice in my head that narrates all of my thoughts for me. I'm not one of those people that feels it in my chest or has pictures going through their mind or whatever the other ways of processing your thoughts are. I have a voice. And after I did that exercise, the voice is so much more at peace and so calm. And that situation is not coming up anymore. There's still some aftershocks of feeling, if you will. And then I just remind myself that that situation is over and I am safe. And I have never had an exercise work so well for me before. Like yesterday, I had mentioned, writing it down and burning it. That's what they always say. Like if you have something you need to say to somebody and you can't say it to their face because they're not going to accept it, you write it down and then you burn it or you journal it and you keep it forever, which means you're going to keep going over it again and again. For me, the auditory processing the conversation from both parties, sides in my own voice was helpful. My mind couldn't tell the difference. I slept so much better last night, and when I woke up this morning, I wasn't immediately like, get up and do. I didn't have to distract myself from myself today. And it's been such a breath of fresh air. The last few months have been very filled with a lot of thoughts and worry and rumination and angst, because I don't like it when I have something to that magnitude happen. I really don't. Like, I don't mind confrontation when it's healthy. I mind confrontation when odds are at the middle, right? Like, we're never going to see eye to eye. And it's hard for me to walk away from people because I've been walked away from. And I don't like the way that feels, and I don't like doing that for somebody else. But in this situation, it was something that I had to do for me and for the other person. I couldn't be who that person needed me or wanted me to be. And it was unfair for both of us for me to continue a relationship with them knowing that we weren't going to mesh. It just isn't going to be. Yeah, it just isn't going to be. And so if you haven't tried the exercise and you have been struggling with letting a conversation go or a situation go, I strongly suggest that you play out the conversation in a way that is amenable. That way you can end it on good terms. And let's see if there's a different way that I can say this so that way it makes sense to somebody that processes thoughts differently. Before, when I was rethinking and replaying the situation in my mind, the other person was always antagonistic, always in fight mode. But when I played it back in the way that I hoped that it had ended, not that we necessarily came to my view, but that we were okay with it being what it was. And that was very beneficial for me because I'm not the person that always has to be right. I just want us to find common ground. And that situation that had happened, we weren't able to find common ground, not at the same time. It's been hard for me. And I know for some of you, it might be like, okay, she's beating a dead horse. But for those of you that process situations the way that I do, I think that this continued conversation that I'm having is beneficial to you because I'm working through it. This is my page, my vlog, if you will. And this is basically like my journal. And so if you don't like what I'm journaling, then go to a different page or a different channel or however you want to phrase that. But for me, this is beneficial because then I can come back to it if I ever have a hard time again and be like, oh, what was that thing that I did, 5 years ago or whatever? And then I can find that video immediately and help myself. And then the same thing for you guys if you save it or whatever. Or you just come across it at a time in your life when you could use it. That's the whole point of me making these videos, is to help myself and to help everyone else that's on the same frequency as me, right? Because I'm not for everyone, and everyone is not for me. And I understand that, I recognize that, and I'm absolutely okay with that. And yeah, I'm just enjoying this time in my life, because even though there's been a lot of friction and a lot of uncertainty and, like I said, angst, I do know that I'm part of the problem, right? And so, and that's what this whole journey has been about since my father passed away in 2017. I know that I'm part of the problem. How do I make it so I'm not so frustrating? And, you know, I can't do anything about how other people perceive me, or what feelings they want to have. But I absolutely, certainly can change how I view myself, which is the most important thing, because if I can view myself with love and empathy and understanding, then I'm more likely to be able to do that for other people. And that's another reason why I do this, is because then I can go back and see, okay, Alicia was blah, blah, blah at this point in her life. But look how far we've come, you know? And I want that for you too. So yeah, I love you, my dearest confidant. Until next time.